Welcome to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. Today, let's talk about sleeping your success away. My name is Kale Houser. I appreciate you joining me today. I am co-founder and CEO of Kale Houser Leadership, along with my amazing wife, Liz Houser, co-founder and COO. First off, I want to apologize for those of you that are probably watching this on YouTube. I'm having a little bit of a hair day today, and I didn't realize it before starting filming, but you get what you get. So this is what we got going on. I think tomorrow is a haircut day is in order. But that being said, you're not here for hair tips. Certainly not what this channel is about. Although if you need my feedback on your hair, I'd be happy to provide it as part of your leadership journey. I did talk a little bit about this of, you must be presentable as part of your leadership and the persona, the type of persona that you portray and project to your people. Because there is certainly, as much as we all like to say, oh, looks don't matter, blah, 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 right? They do. Looks absolutely matter. But that is not the intent of this podcast. Today, I was thinking about and really convicted in my own heart and soul about this thought, this concept of sleeping your success away. How many of you, if you're honest, especially if you're probably older than 35, can look back at your life and go, I have slept away so many opportunities. I have slept away so much success in my life by choosing sleep, by choosing rest, by choosing taking those naps versus getting after something, versus learning the thing, versus accomplishing the task, doing the thing, going out and meeting the people, going to the event. Can you raise your hand? Leave a comment if this is you. If you've had this experience, if you can kind of recognize that this has been one of maybe your weak points or this trap that you got caught up in, I will 100% say and be vulnerable that this was me for a long time. I went through a phase of don't bother me. I'm sleeping. That's all I want to do is sleeping. It was like I was a teenager going through a growth spurt and all my energy was just zapped out. And the crazy thing is, just like the opposite end of winning begets winning, losing begets losing. You get into this cycle of lethargy, laziness. You get in the cycle of apathy, not caring about things, and you just want to sleep. And then as you do that more, then less things matter, then less things are interesting, then you're less motivated to do stuff. And you get in this horrible, horrendous cycle that takes a massive, significant, usually emotional event or potentially even financial event to pull you out of it. There's a really great, and I should have looked it up. I apologize. There's a really great Bible verse, a little folding of your hands, a little resting of your eyes, a little taking of the nap, and the thief will come on you like a night. Essentially being, no one's going to do the harvest if you're just napping all day. Like you will be a failure if you're lazy. 100% paraphrasing there. That don't quote me on that. But you get the point. You've probably heard that saying before. But you can kind of self-analyze this. If you're taking a little offense, it's probably ringing a little bit true to you. Like, how many times do you hit the snooze button? You raise your hand? Me, 100%. I'm guilty of that. Getting that little bit of extra sleep by virtue of the snooze button is one of those things that like, I don't know, it just feels good at the moment. But it really comes down to, do you like to sleep more than you like to succeed, more than you like to be successful? Now, almost every successful person out there will tell you it's time to get up. Like, yep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep at night is what you need. And most of them would err on the 7 to 8 to be healthy, to take care of your body. They don't say 10 hours. They don't say 9 hours. They just certainly don't say 12. They don't say stay up until 3 a.m. and sleep until noon, because it's just not natural for our body clock. And this is what I'm talking about, is how do you prioritize, or how do you, rank as far as where your sleep is? And then are you disciplined enough to recognize like, yep, I've met my level and now it's time to work. Now it's time to go after my goals and dreams. Now it's time to take the action and do the things and accomplish the tasks I need to do in order to be successful. Or are you like me sometimes, even still, are you the one that when that alarm goes off, if you have an alarm, kind of goes, I don't need to do that. I can do that later. I'll have time for that later. And this is something that I am making my commitment to you, my audience right now, is I need to get better at this. I use an excuse a lot because I've had a lot of sleep problems in my past, that I'm usually asleep for about the first 2 hours of my night, and then I wake up for a couple hours, and then I usually get back to sleep like the last 1 or 2 hours of my morning. So I kind of a lot of time will self-excuse myself in the mornings when my alarm goes off. I'm like, oh, but I need this extra time. This is my time. My body naturally wants to sleep, blah, 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 right? They're all just stupid excuses. Or I go back to, well, I spent, 2 years of my life on mid shift. So my sleep schedule is just so screwed up and blah, 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 right? Excuses, excuses, excuses. Excuses are like, everybody has them and they all stink. And that's what I've been doing. And I need to stop, because ultimately my success is more important than sleep. My success is the determining factor of how I take care of my family, of how I take care of myself, is my determining factor of the impact I get to have on people such as you. I could easily, instead of doing this podcast, I could take a nap. There's 100 other things I could do that are lazy, but that would not be driving me towards my own version, what I believe to make myself successful. And these are the things I've chosen to do. And one of the things I need to add is that sleep. So I really want to ask you, and do that self-identify. What goes through your brain in the morning? Are your goals big enough to get you out of the bed? Are your goals and targets big enough, and the reason that you're doing the things you do to be successful strong enough to overcome the cold floor in the morning, to overcome, that initial shock of pulling back the covers, or not? And I would strongly encourage you to kind of look at that. If that's something that we can help you with, we would love to do so. But I think for all of us that are on a path of success, that we want more than just the kind of 9 to 5, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, weekend, go to work, come home. We need to start looking at this aspect of it, and how much of our success are we sleeping away? This is not at all to argue that you should now be going on the 3-hour a night kind of thing. Because that has its own issues. There may be times where, in order to meet a deadline and to complete a task or meet a target or travel, that you have to do that, but that should not be your lifestyle. But I'm talking the opposite of, if your lifestyle is, 9 hours of sleep, 10 hours of sleep, I'm going to get to that later. This is the afternoon slump, I'm going to take a nap for an hour. Not the recharge, like 15-minute nap, but like I'm going to pass out under the covers for an hour and a half or 2 hours. That's probably not conducive to your success. So a little bit of a rant here today for you. I apologize for that ahead of time. Those, again, apologize for the hair on those watching YouTube. But if this is something you found helpful, please let me know. Drop a comment, shoot me a DM or an email at kale@kalehouserleadership.com. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to see what you've got going on, and if we can be of any help or service to you. We'll talk to you soon. No matter where you're at in the world, have a fantastic afternoon. Bye.